Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillah wa salatu wa salamu ala rasulillah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. قال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم إن الملائكة نزلت على سيما الزبير أو كما قال عليه الصلاة والسلام. Alhamdulillah, continuing the series of Asharah, Mubasharah, the 10 that were guaranteed Jannah. In one occasion, in one gathering, Alhamdulillah, we have gone through the lives of 5 of them. Very briefly, just touching, just giving you a little idea of their life. Not much detail we have gone into. Today we have the 6th on the list. Zubayr Radhiyallahu Anhu fil Jannah. Zubayr ibn al-Awam fil Jannah. The hadith which I just recited before you, the Prophet ﷺ mentions on the occasion of Badr. He mentioned this in the occasion of Badr. And Badr is that the first major battle that took place between Haqq and Batil. So the Prophet ﷺ mentions on that day that indeed the angels are coming down in the appearance, in the form of Zubayr, in his form, in his lookalike. How many angels came? The Quran says first 3,000, then 5,000. Subhanallah. So he was who was this Zubayr Radhiyallahu Anhu? He was a horseman from the people of Makkah. He was amongst the cousin of Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, and he was better than 1,000 people on one side. I will explain this. The Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam mentions that Hawariyun Nabi, he is the companion, the very close confidant of the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. The Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam mentions that every prophet, they have very close people of theirs, confidants. Like Isa alayhi salam, he had Hawariyun. Man ansari ila Allah, qala al-Hawariyun nahnu ansarullah. Allah mentions them in the Quran. So the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam mentions that my Hawari are Talha and Zubayr. Talha we mentioned last week. Zubayr Radhiyallahu Anhu is the other one. Zubayr ibn Awam Radhiyallahu Anhu, like I mentioned, was from the people of Quraysh. And his lineage is very, very close to the lineage of Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. His mother Safiya was the daughter of Abdul Muttalib, meaning the mother of Zubayr and the father of Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam were brothers and sisters. The first cousins of the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. And also from the other side, Zubayr Radhiyallahu Anhu's aunt, Zubayr Radhiyallahu Anhu's aunt, because the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam was related to Zubayr from the mother's side. But Khadija Radhiyallahu Anha, the first wife of Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, was related to Zubayr from Zubayr Radhiyallahu Anhu's father's side. Okay? So very, very close family ties as well. Zubayr Radhiyallahu Anhu was born 15 years before prophethood. Around 15 years before prophethood. He grew up as an orphan because his father was killed in the interfighting that used to happen before in Jahiliyyah. So his father was killed when he was very, very young. And his grandfather was also killed before that. So he grew up. His mother, Safiya Radhiyallahu Anha, gave him a very good upbringing. very pure, very clean, very modest upbringing, and she herself was a very strong, very confident woman. You know, we hear in the occasion of Khandaq, her bravery, being a woman. She displayed such heroism, such bravery, which sometimes many men are not able to do. Her mother, his mother, Safiya Radhiyallahu Anha. So she brought him up, and then his uncle started giving him and started utilizing him for business. Then when Islam came along, Zubayr Radhiyallahu Anhu was amongst the very early Muslims. He actually became Muslim on the second day of Islam, meaning the day after Abu Bakr Radhiyallahu Anhu became Muslim. And that time he was only 15 years old. And the people, as we all know, in the early days, the Muslims were very, very few in number. And whenever anybody used to become Muslim, they used to be insulted, harmed, troubled. They had to go through a lot of suffering. So Zubayr Radhiyallahu Anhu also was amongst those that had to go through a lot. But he never was taken back by any of this. His uncle used to beat him and then wrap him and tie him up, and used to burn parts of his body, that maybe this young boy, 15 years old, he may turn away. He used to tie him up because he never had a father. Father had passed away, grandfather. So when his uncle used to take him, you know, during the day or for a few days for business, whatever, but in the meantime he used to punish him. So he used to tie him up in a way that he cannot move, and then he used to put fire around him in a way that if he burns and the burn, you know, pains him, then he may turn away from Islam. But subhanallah, Islam is not that easy. Once it goes into a person, it's very hard that it goes out of that person. So subhanallah, Zubayr Radhiyallahu Anhu used to find the heat of it on his body, and he would see the smoke around him and everything, and he was about to die due to the suffocation of the smoke, but he wasn't ready to give up Islam. Iman in his body. And he used to say to his uncle, La akfuru abada. Oh my uncle, do what you want to, I will never ever disbelieve in what I have already believed in. When the people started migrating to Habasha, Zubayr Radhiyallahu Anhu was amongst those who migrated. The first migration before Medina happened to Habasha, Abyssinia. And they had some good times there, because the people there, they used to worship, they were Christians, and the people of Makkah, they went after them because now they couldn't punish these people. So they went after them to Abyssinia, and they lied to the king that these are slaves who have run away. So you need to return them back. They don't want to be slaves. We have bought them, they are our slaves, and they have run away. So the king said, first let's investigate the matter. If they are here, there must be some problem. Nobody would just leave their home and come here. Just ask who they are. So when the investigation was done and they were called, then they realized that these are not slaves, these are honorable people of the Quraysh, from high lineage, high family. And then when the reality opened up, then they realized that these people were actually those who had believed in the final prophet, Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. And due to that, their own people were punishing them. So the king, they said that they have come here for security, safety. I will not hand them over to you. I will give them the safety they need. They are seeking asylum here, they will be given that asylum. He was a very good person, mashallah, Habashi, Najashi, the king of Habasha. So, Zubayr Radhiyallahu Anhu says that at that time I was very young. Okay? When this happened. Then Zubayr Radhiyallahu Anhu returned back to Makkah, and the people who were still troubling the Muslims and still giving a hard time to Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam and his followers, and he would be put on a lot of trouble. So the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam would go past and he would say, "What's wrong with you, O Zubayr? What's the matter? What's happening?" So the Prophet ﷺ made dua for him, and he was the first person to take out a sword. أول رجل سل سيفا في الإسلام. He was the first person who took the sword out of its sheath, its cover, in the name of Islam. The first person. When the Prophet ﷺ gave permission to Rasul ﷺ to migrate to Medina Munawwara, the Muslims started going out in groups, big numbers, so they can get out of the difficulty that they have been living in it for so many years. So they were all going out at night quietly, so nobody from the Quraysh stops them or gives them a hard time. But there were 3 people who came out openly. Okay? Who are these 3 people? Who actually were ready to face the challenge. So they went by the Kaaba and they said, "Look, we will be going out, migrating from this place. Anybody who can dare stop us should come out and stop us." Openly. Who are these 3 people? Who are these 3 people? Number 1, Umar ibn Khattab Radhiyallahu Anhu. Always the top of the list. Amir al-Mu'mineen. Number 2, Hamza Radhiyallahu Anhu. Hamza ibn Abdul Muttalib. Asadullahi wa asadu Rasuli. The lion of Allah and the lion of Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Sayyidu Shuhada. He's known as the leader of all the martyrs. And then number 3 was Zubayr Radhiyallahu Anhu. The Hawari, the very close person of Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. When it was the occasion of Badr, they weren't with the Muslims much animals except 2 horses. They only had 2 horses. And one of them was Zubayr Radhiyallahu Anhu's horse. They were very, they were not equipped in many ways. In fact, they didn't even have shoes to wear. One walking with one shoe, the other walking with another shoe. They couldn't even find clothes to cover the body. Never mind gain other weapons. They couldn't even find the needs, just barely being fulfilled. So in that occasion, 313, but they only had 2 horses. One of them was Zubayr Radhiyallahu Anhu's horse. When Allah helped the Prophet ﷺ with angels, and when the angels came down with yellowish, creamish imama, turban, وَإِذْ يُوحِي رَبُّكَ إِلَى الْمَلَائِكَةِ أَنِّي مَعَكُمْ, when Allah sent a revelation to the angels that go and fight on the side of the Muslims. The Sahaba, they say that we at the occasion of Badr used to see. What did we used to see? We used to see a mushrikeen on the enemy side. We were about to go and attack him. We should just point at him. That there's a mushrikeen. Let's go and challenge him. Before we used to get there, his head was already in the ground. His head was already ground. We used to just point. So the Prophet ﷺ at that occasion, he said, indeed the angels that are coming down, they're coming down on the complexion of Zubayr. Zubayr Radhiyallahu Anhu was went through a lot of challenge in Badr, but he showed a lot of heroism. When it was the occasion of Uhud, Zubayr Radhiyallahu Anhu did bay'ah with the Prophet ﷺ on death. When in Uhud, like I mentioned last week, that Uhud was didn't go too much in the favor of the Muslims in the beginning. They had to pay a heavy price. A long incident. So when this happened, people were confused, they were lost. They never knew what was happening. The rumor spread that the Prophet ﷺ has been killed. So everybody were running in all directions. But Zubayr Radhiyallahu Anhu stood with the Prophet ﷺ. And the Prophet ﷺ was he was shielding the Prophet ﷺ from all types of attacks. And the Prophet ﷺ said, Irmi fidaka abi wa ummi. Shoot, may my parents be sacrificed for you. Then the same in the Battle of Hunayn, subhanallah, his heroism, his bravery was outstanding, subhanallah. Another point which we learn is when the Muslims they came to Medina Munawwara, then for quite a while, few months, none of the Muslims that had come had any male children. Okay, and the Jews, they made allegation, they made accusation, and they made a claim that we have done magic on these Muslims. None of them can ever bear any male children anymore. And this is known, the Kabbalah, the Jews, it's quite well known. The tactics, Allah save us. Sulaiman alayhi salam used to control, he had control over the jinn. So, in order to, teach them a lesson. So, the first child, male child that was born, was the son of Zubayr Radhiyallahu Anhu, Abdullah ibn Zubayr Radhiyallahu Anhu. And everybody became so happy. It was like a day of joy for the Prophet ﷺ and all the Muslims there. That today, the claim of the Jews has been failed. They say that we will never get male children. Allah has given. Subhanallah. He continued his bravery and his standing up for Islam in the time of the Prophet ﷺ, and even after the time of the Prophet ﷺ. In the time of Umar Radhiyallahu Anhu, Umar Radhiyallahu Anhu got 4,000 army ready, and he made Zubayr Radhiyallahu Anhu and Miqdad and Ubadah bin Samit and Maslama ibn Makhlad, all these Sahaba, he made them the leaders upon these. And he wrote to Amr ibn As that I am sending to you 4,000 men. Each of these 1,000 men is equal to 1,000 itself. Meaning, one man from amongst them can challenge 1,000 on his own. He's equivalent to 1,000. That's how heavy he is. When Zubayr Radhiyallahu Anhu came to Umar Radhiyallahu Anhu, he saw that they have surrounded the place. So he went around to look for a place to get in, but he was very strongly surrounded. So then it was said that indeed in this place that you see, which is being surrounded, there is plague inside. That is why it's been covered, it's been blocked out from outside. Meaning they never wanted them to go inside, so they just made things up. So then Allah gave them victory. Long incident, I'm just trying to be very, very brief. Now one thing which I would like to highlight today about Zubayr Radhiyallahu Anhu is his son, Abdullah ibn Zubayr Radhiyallahu says that it was the battle of Siffin, yeah, which happened between Ali Radhiyallahu Anhu and Muawiyah Radhiyallahu Anhu. Now we don't need to go into a detail of why they happened, but everything. But it was the night before. So he called his son and he said, "Look, oh my son, tomorrow I will be standing up and I will be fighting. And I feel that maybe I could be killed. I may be killed. Yeah. So I am giving you some advice, so please listen to it." So he said, "Oh my son, I have so much debt left, so much debts to pay." So he gave him, like, this is what I owe people, this is who I owe. He gave him some names. Long hadith, it comes in the books of hadith. And then he told him as well that I own this bit of land here, I own a bit of garden here, and he gave him something like this as well. And he told him that from this, give so much to this wife, from this, give so much to the brothers, give so much to, like, extra. One is the Sharia, which has already stipulated, but he was advising, giving wasiyah for something extra. Give it to your children, meaning his grandchildren. So that's exactly what happened. The next day, when the battle of Siffin took place, Zubayr Radhiyallahu Anhu was killed. So now the son, Abdullah ibn Zubayr, he started working out the father's debt, how much they were. So when he realized the total figure of the debt was 2.2 million dirham. That's a lot of money. And the reason he mentions as well, amazing, the reason he mentions my father was in so much debt, وَإِنَّمَا الدَّيْنَ الَّذِي كَانَ عَلَيْهِ, the debt that was on him, how did that happen? أَنَّهُ إِذَا أَتَاهُ رَجُلُ بِالْمَالِ, a person used to come to him with wealth. Before, people never used to have banks, so they used to take it to a trustworthy person, honest person. They would say, I've got so much gold, I've got so much wealth, keep it for me, when I need it, I'll take it off you. So that's like an amana. So أَتَاهُ رَجُلُ بِالْمَالِ فَيَسْتَوْدِعُهُ إِيَّاهُ, and he would leave it by him as safekeeping. So what is the masla? The ruling, the Islamic ruling is, the ruling of fiqh, that if a person gives you something to borrow, or not borrow, but to safekeep, amana, and for some reason it gets lost, somebody steals it, or it gets burnt, or it gets lost somewhere, you don't have to pay anything. It was amana. It's finished. Something which is beyond your control. So Zubayr Radhiyallahu Anhu said, "Look, you are keeping this as an amana to me. If anything happens in my possession, it gets lost, it gets stolen, anything could happen, you will lose your money. So rather than keeping it as an amana, I take it from you as a debt. So whatever happens, you will get your money. You will not lose anything." So basically, the debt that he incurred was because he wanted to help the other person. He never used to go and borrow money that, give me money, he never used to pay. No. People used to come to him, safekeeping, and to look for what is best for this person and his wealth. He doesn't lose anything. He would say, I take it as debt. I will take it as a debt from you. So no matter what happens, you will definitely get your money back. That's how he incurred so much debt. Imagine today, anybody going? So anyway, he told his son that whenever you incur any problem, just ask my master. So the son was a bit confused, so he said, I wasn't very sure, so I asked my father, who do you mean by your master? So he said, Allah. Just turn to Allah. If you have any problems, turn to Allah, and Allah will help you. Now that is Iman. That is, subhanallah. So people, after the demise of Zubayr Radhiyallahu Anhu, then the son started, getting in touch with people. He said, my father told me that he owes you so much, he owes you so much, so and so. And like this, he started paying people. And in place, he said, look, this is my father's land. Are you happy? Instead of money, we give you a bit of land. So people say, okay, that's fine. So like this, mashallah, he settled all the debts. And in fact, he had more money left over as well through this whole process. When a person is honest, when he is well-wishing for other people, other Muslims, nasiha. Nasiha, what is the meaning of nasiha? Today we have, it's a very narrow meaning. The Urdu version of nasiha means just to talk good. In Arabic, the meaning is very vast. It means to wish good for other people. Not only to talk good, it's to wish goodness. Allah give us understanding. So this is briefly the life of Zubayr Radhiyallahu Anhu. Allah give us the ability to be well-wishing for other people like Zubayr Radhiyallahu Anhu. What was the outstanding quality in the life of Zubayr Radhiyallahu Anhu? His bravery, his heroism, and his well-wishing for every person. I will lose out, but I don't want any other fellow human to lose out in any way. What iman! It was due to these qualities that the Prophet of Allah had to say, Zubayr fil Jannah. Allah make us such people. If we emulate the qualities of these people, inshallah, Allah will make us with these people in Jannah, inshallah. Inshallah, next week we will continue with the life of the next Sahabi, Abdurrahman ibn Auf Radhiyallahu Anhu. May Allah give all of us the ability to benefit from the lives of these Sahaba Radhiyallahu Anhum, to learn from them. There is much more to be said regarding their life, but we are just giving you a little tip of it. Inshallah, there's much more. Just on one Sahabi we can do a full day course of quite a few days series we can do on one Sahabi. But inshallah, sometime in the future we do have plans to go into the series of these Sahaba in detail. One course just on Zubayr Radhiyallahu Anhu, one course just on Uthman Radhiyallahu Anhu, one course just on Talha Radhiyallahu Anhu. May Almighty Allah give all of us the understanding. Ameen wa sallallahu wa sallam ala rasulina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in.